Hello everybody and welcome to Trombone First Aid. Today I'm talking about Arban, the first exercise that I use to play when I really want to build my basics. I'm talking about the very beginning, so from number 11 to 15. Those exercises are really precious because there you have the time and the focus to control your sound quality, your articulation. Everything you cannot do so well when you practice something more complicated and difficult. To start the practice of every kind of piece, the first good thing to do is to read the music without instrument. Just have a look at the score. In this case, it's quite simple because it's about only 2 lines. But when you go through just with your mind, you can foresee which kind of difficulties you may encounter, which kind of passages would probably put you into a situation where you need to act in order to keep the same sound, keep the same articulation. For example, I'm talking when you want to decide whether to play the C in first position with valve or in 6th position. This will affect a lot the way you will have to play your articulation and your airstream. This is the first step. Putting into your brain all the data, so that when you are actually playing, this part is already done. I really value the possibility to decompose all those problems into more simple ones. Whenever you have to play something, it's a very rich content to elaborate, even if it's about a very simple exercise. If we can differentiate different problematics and face one by one, we have higher chance to increase our quality level. Reading and then thinking about what is to be played will give you more awareness while you are actually playing. And you can use this extra energy, this extra availability of brain resources to control, for example, articulation, to control sound quality, to control the rhythm. So, read the piece and understand it. See it as your teacher would point at you the problem that you know that you already have. So you foresee them and you prepare your brain to face them when you are actually getting there while you play. The second step, as I said in some other videos, is to play everything without the use of tongue. Our instrument doesn't let us stop the airstream, so we should not do by ourselves using the tongue. That's the best way to produce our optimal sound. So let's just try to play this exercise. I will play a few bars, just using airstream. Of course, this was number 11, and as you noticed, whenever I breathe, afterwards, I try to repeat the previous note so that every note is connected to the other. Every passage between notes is played. When we breathe, we interrupt it, and then we kind of skip this one. So be careful to repeat the last note before going on. Without tongue and using really a slow, beautiful glissando, we just focus on our sound quality. After this, what we can do is try to do the same, being more accurate with intonation. So we play glissando, but we take care that we stop in the right position. Then the next step is to play always glissando, but with more coordination, hand and rhythm. So I will have to move my hand faster in order to be at the right place in the right moment. This already sounds much cleaner because this coordination is really important for the next step. Adding the tongue is not helping if coordination is not already achieved. So playing glissato with a perfect rhythmical coordination will prepare us to add the tongue. Also, if you noticed, when I added the tongue, I tried to keep the line of my airstream as I was not using it at all. This is also another advantage of playing glissato. Our airstream is already right, it's already horizontal. It doesn't make us stop when we play different notes. These three steps, plus the taking care of intonation one, are basic, because this is somehow how you can work every musical piece. This is about basic technique. There is no rocket science involved, but we have all to go through it. Otherwise, these steps will never be really cared of. In order to develop quality and musical taste, we need to master the technique of our instrument. This means that we have to be able to play clean notes. It's about articulation, it's about coordination, like we were playing bassoon or piano or cello. So we have to forget that we have a slide. In order to forget that we have a slide, we have to master glissato. I hear a lot of trumpet players playing bending. This, for us, is also very important, but we have a slide, which is a natural bending. So playing a perfect glissato is the same as playing a very good bending. So we should just use it, because this will improve sound quality, coordination, and awareness of where our hand is, which is not to be undertaken, because when we play violoncelle or something quick, this will be a resource for us. Then we can proceed with different keys, different octaves. And for this I will provide some material in the description. So these kind of exercises have no limit. You can do whatever you want with this musical material. The important thing is that you plan it before playing. A decision you can take is to play in order that every note sounds exactly the same as the previous one. This is a possibility, but it's not the only way. Normally, when we play all the same, it gets to be a bit boring. So we have to find a way that our practice is not getting us to be far from the instrument. I would rather prefer that we decide exactly what we want, where we want to have an accent, where we want to have a dot, so that when we listen to our recording that you always have to take, we can compare the real results to what we had in mind. So we can see if something got lost in the way from there to there. So recording yourself is a crucial point in your path to develop your quality. I already know that when I will listen to my recording, this recording, I will not be happy about it. Take it as a treasure. So listen to yourself and go beyond your mistakes. You are the best teacher for yourself if you are serious and really careful about details. In addition to the recorder, another important ally for our daily practice is the metronome. So unfortunately today I have no metronome, because normally I use the one in my phone and I use the phone for recording this video. But metronome is always very important, because this takes part into this coordination procedure. So you have to coordinate your brain, your hand, your tongue with the sound of the metronome. This is especially when you play longer notes, like in this exercise. If you have if you happen to practice without metronome, which I don't recommend, one trick to help you keep the pulse is to halve the values of notes and play repetition, like this. This will help you to keep more steady, because whenever we have long values, our brain starts to glide in the eyes. Of course, all this can be applied to any of these 5 exercises, and more in general to anything you have to play. Tomasi, Mahler Third Symphony, because this is the basic stuff. So it's much better to practice these basics on this music instead of just making things more complicated with Mahler or Tomasi. We will step on later, but now we have to focus on these aspects, because later there will be many more musical problems, many more technical challenges that they will bring our brain in another direction. So now here is the time to practice quality of attacco, sound, rhythm, coordination, and intonation. If you find this content interesting and this project useful, please put a like in my videos. Have a good practice. Ciao.